All right, hello everyone. Today on this DLC episode of Brothers and Boss Battles, we are discussing the recently released MLB The Show 25. MLB The Show 2025 is a sports simulation game, specifically baseball. It releases pretty much as we speak to the general public. It released early access on March 14th, this past Friday. It's available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch. It was developed by San Diego Studios. And it is the premier, I would say, MLB simulation game. Just for those that don't know, I'll briefly talk about these DLC episodes that we do. They're sort of offshoots of our main show, Brothers and Boss Battles, a video game showdown. And in it, we talk spoiler-free new releases. Probably not too many storyline spoilers to reveal with MLB The Show 25, but we try to keep them spoiler-free. And we're excited to talk about this game. Pete is here, brother Pete, and I'm Anthony. Tom is not joining us today, so we're just going to give you a quick review with us two brothers here, and let you know some of the things we've noticed on our first run through of the game. We both got early access, me on PlayStation 5 and Pete on Xbox Series, whatever one he has.
It's S.
There we go.
So yeah, I've been playing a lot. I've been playing a lot this weekend. I don't know how you feel, but it feels exactly like the same game to me, like the core gameplay. Like it really is like no difference, even like graphically.
The gameplay is, I guess, there's something that feels different to me. I think it might just be the crack of the bat or something when you hit the ball. It just feels like a little different to me. But yeah, I mean, look, it's probably all in my head. At the end of the day, it's pretty much the same exact game as prior years, which often happens with these simulations, but you get, new rosters and a couple of added features. They're sort of like that one single player mode. It's like Conquest from the prior ones, but it seems a little bit different.
Yeah, Diamond Quest, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I've been playing that a fair bit. I don't love it, but there's some rewards that I wanted to get, so that's why I was playing it. It's kind of like a roguelike, is that what they call it? Roguelike game, where it's like the board is sort of randomized with different encounters. But like you roll a die, and the dice, it doesn't, like if you get a 1, you get a penalty, and if you get a 6, you get some buff. But it doesn't seem, other than that, to matter, like what you roll.
So what do you do in it? You like run into people and face scenarios, like baseball scenarios?
Yeah, it's like a little board with different tiles, and then they might be random scenarios on some of those tiles. Like some of them might just be like, oh, you get this card that will boost your, exit velocity when you're down in the count or something.
Oh, okay. But what do you
But
play?
a lot of them are like, so there's like sometimes it's like a showdown boss where it's like you have 12 outs to score so many runs against Johan Santana or something like that. Sometimes they're just scenarios where it's like they put you in the 9th inning and there's a guy on second and you have to preserve the 1-run lead, know. But the ultimate goal is there's stadium challenges, which are 3-inning games against whatever team is or teams are in those stadium challenges for that map. And how it works is the higher the difficulty you play those stadium challenges, the greater the odds of getting the rare and epic rewards are. Which are so far have been pretty good player cards.
Yeah.
And as you play through and you win those different scenarios leading up to the stadium challenge, you get a slight boost in those odds when you make it to the stadium challenge. So
yeah. I have noticed in the last couple of years, including this year of MLB The Show, they don't start you off with as good as cards as they did maybe 3 or 4 years ago. So, I'm playing ranked with a bunch of, anywhere from like high 70s to maybe like mid 80s. There's a few high 80s available, but there really isn't much beyond that. So, you know,
Yeah,
the
that's different than the few years past because they got rid of the sets and seasons in ranked, which they used, I think, for the last 2 years, 23 and 24, if I remember. Right. And that was where, like, kind of after a month or so, then it kind of moved into the next season and you
Yeah, I don't know if it
couldn't.
was that quick, but it was,
Okay.
yeah, it was certainly not a, not an extended period of time, but they just
Yeah.
kind of wanted you to use different cards, I
Right.
feel.
Right.
So, but anyway, so I've played a few game modes. The main game modes are you have your Diamond Dynasty, which includes some like single player stuff, but also the ranked online play. Road to the Show, which is where you create your character and you start out as a high school senior and you try to make it to the big leagues and get accolades there.
Yeah. So
There-
that's a difference in this game where you're starting from high school, right?
right, right. The high school and college portions are different rather than just starting in the minors. Um, then there's March to October, which was also present in a lot of the prior games, which is you pick a team and you play various different portions of a game to try to win the World Series. And then there's a franchise mode where you're a GM, and I did start that a little bit.
Oh,
And
you
you
did. Interesting.
yeah, you could pick a team that exists, or you could draft a team, and then you try to again, try to make them successful in the league. And you can customize how often you want to physically play. So like you can make it where you're only coming in like very high pressure situations in like the seventh inning or later with, the game on the line, or you could play almost any portion of of every game. So I kind of feel like that takes the fun out of it. So I've set up my league where I'm only playing like the high pressure stuff, but then you're also doing a lot of the other general managing of the team to try to make it successful. So that I just started, so I'm not too familiar with it, but I think that could be a cool mode.
Did you did you
Hmm?
like do a fantasy draft or did you pick a
Nah,
team?
I did the Mets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I think they made some improvements on the franchise mode, like improving like the AI with the free agency and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I'm looking forward to playing that out. Yeah,
One of
but
the
yeah,
one
go
of the
ahead.
big no, I want to say one of the big gameplay changes is the ambush hitting,
Yeah.
right?
And
Or base.
yeah, I was talking to you a little bit about that. I feel
Yeah,
like it is pretty good, and I mean, this game a couple of seasons ago, it was like I feel it was basically like playing soccer. It was 2-1 or 1-0 every match. But like last year, they've improved on the offense, and this year, I was telling you before, I don't know if it's like some sort of catch-up mechanism they have in the programming, or if it's just that much easier to hit. But I'm winning or losing games 6-5 or scoring 8 runs in the top of the ninth inning. It's very different as far as the offense is concerned, and I think the ambush hitting may have something to do with that. But I also think it's just the programming in general.
how often are you? Because I haven't played any like player versus player yet,
Hmm.
but how often are you using the ambush hitting?
I kind of use it. I use it almost every first two strikes of every at bat.
Yeah,
Unless they're really, unless I'm noticing, like, they sometimes might have weird patterns where you really don't want to guess because, so what the ambush hitting does is that if you guess, it lets you choose the left or right hand side of the batter's box. And if you
basically
guess
middle in or middle away.
in or middle away, and if you guess right and you hit it, you kind of get a boost. And if you guess wrong and hit it, it's going to be a little bit of a weaker hit. What I've noticed is a lot of those weaker hits, though, have resulted in like bloop singles and
Oh,
stuff like
okay.
that. And a couple of times, this is funny because I have Pete Alonso on my team, and if I get a weak hit the opposite way, they play him way pull. So I've gotten doubles out of
Oh, that's
bloops,
great.
like in right field. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so what that ambush hitting really does is if you guess right, then your hitting cursor is bigger, and then the timing like window to get like a good hit or a perfect hit or whatever
Mm,
is a little wider.
yeah.
And then, vice versa if you guess wrong. And you
Yeah.
could actually see that if you push ambush hit for middle in and you just move your cursor to the inside of the plate, it'll get bigger. Like
Mm.
even just when you're waiting for the pitch. But that's what I expected, and what you said. I expect the correct approach basically to use that until you get 2 strikes.
Yeah, because then you don't want to, put yourself in more of a hole.
Yeah.
But it's been good in ranked. I think I'm actually at 500 right now.
Okay, that's
My
good.
team's the New York Hornets. If anyone, comes up against me.
Ah, that's great. My team is Bros Boss Battles.
That's good representing. We needed someone to. I don't know. I just wanted a yellow and black uniform. So I was like, the Bumblebees or the Hornets. What am I gonna do? Um,
Okay. You know what I'm excited about? Do you know about this weekend classic?
no.
So it's kind of like a variation of the ranked. So at the end of like every month or so, every season, I don't know what they call it, they're gonna have like, oh well, a weekend classic. So it's gonna run from like Thursday through Monday or Thursday through Tuesday. And based on like what division you were in the ranked season, I guess you'll be placed sort of in the same pool of people for this weekend classic. And then basically the first 6 games, you could get certain rewards based on how many of those 6 games you win. So if you go 6-0, you get the best reward, or whatever. And then any match after, or any game after that, those 6 games, basically every win, you get like a pack or something. So
That's cool. It's
I don't know. Yeah.
full 9 inning games or
Yeah. Just like
yeah.
ranked games. Yeah.
Oh, they just like
But
divide you up a little bit more.
they divide you up a little more, and then the rewards are, instead of
Yeah.
just getting rewards from like the long season long path, it's more focused
Right.
like in a tournament kind of feel to it. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see how that plays out.
Yeah. It has a lot of good modes, but I just love ranked. I mean, and I'm good enough to not be totally horrible, so it's like actually competitive. Like I
Oh
feel
yeah,
if I played like NHL online or NBA, I'd get destroyed. But
yeah,
with
yeah.
baseball is different. Um, what
It
else?
really is crazy how much is in this game though. Like just
Yeah,
different game modes. Like I forgot about March to October,
yeah,
and
that's one
I
of the
don't think
main like screen ones. Yeah,
I don't think I played that last year, but 2 years ago I did, and it was a lot of fun.
yeah. That one's fun because you're not playing every game, and then
Yeah.
of course there's all like they have your obviously your exhibition, your home run derby. They did have, and I didn't play it yet, but like a classic mode or something. So I don't know if it maybe like looks like a more old timey baseball game.
Oh, I think it does. Yeah.
Yeah, because they had that in a prior year. I don't know if it was last year or 23, but they had something like that. So that's cool. They've brought back storylines, and they have the Negro Leagues again. A couple of new players that are haven't been introduced in prior years, so that's pretty cool. You can get some good cards there as well, and pick up some baseball history that you might not be aware of. So that's pretty cool. Um,
Yeah, I like always doing the storylines for the
yeah,
educational
yeah. They're pretty good.
purposes. Yeah, one other thing that small difference from last year that we haven't mentioned yet was just with the team affinity programs.
Hmm.
Now there's 30 different programs for each team, whereas in the last few years they've just been by the divisions,
Division, yeah. Oh wow.
which I
Yeah,
feel
I
like I
didn't.
like the division better just because.
Well, it's gonna be so much to do now. Like if you're gonna like go through them to
Yeah,
try to get the
exactly. Well, the
cards.
programs I think are shorter
Oh,
because
okay.
there's 30 of them, but now it's
Yeah.
just really focused. If you want that Rangers player card, you
Yeah.
have to use Ranger players on your
Yeah.
team, whereas before you could have used Angels and Astros and all built
Yeah.
towards the same thing. So,
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I
because I
guess there's
usually,
some notable new cards that haven't been really present in, I guess, in prior seasons. So I guess they've sort of been highlighting Roger Clemens and Manny Ramirez,
yeah,
which are, two cool players to have.
yeah, I agree. I really want that Carlos Beltran card, but I think that you have to collect all the live series players,
Oh, really?
so probably
Eh,
won't be getting that.
Is it him on like the Royals or the Mets
I think it's the Mets.
or Astros or Mets?
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. But I was reading about this in the all season how like any non-current player they have to kind of individually negotiate rights with the game does with. the players. So that's why you see, for example, the Mets captain and the Mets team affinity program is John Franco. It's like there's a John Franco card every single year. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. Like
he had a good career, but
he
like
did. Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't need to be in the game every year.
Doesn't he have like? Doesn't he? Isn't he like the left-hander with the most saves ever or something though?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I get it. But I also think, yeah, no, I get that. But so how do they do like all of these, players that are dead or like, these classic Hall of Fame players like, Babe Ruth and Ted Williams. Ted Williams is in this. He actually, I don't think has been in prior games, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. They emphasize Ted Williams too.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess family or
their
someone,
estates or something.
Yeah. I assume. Yeah. Or I don't know if like after X amount of years you're
in the public domain.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I guess the other players, it's just the players union. Like if they say you're in it, then you're in it, right? Like
the current players, you mean?
Yeah, the current.
Yeah,
players.
It's just and the minor leaguers too, I guess.
Yeah.
That's like right now. One of my complaints is that so many of the cards are like just pipeline. Like there's a prospect.
I faced a team of all pipeline players, but the thing is, those pipeline players are like ranked 87, whereas like your MLB players are ranked like right. less than that. So
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of silly, but it is what it is.
So if those listening now, I mean, probably making their way through the Tokyo series program that they've
I didn't see
added at the full release.
Oh, okay. So yeah. Was that from last year or
no.
The
MLB's opening
in Tokyo this year?
Yeah.
Who's playing?
The Dodgers and the Cubs, which makes sense because they both have a few Japanese players.
Oh yeah. Well, Dodgers. I mean, Ohtani's like everywhere there.
Yeah. I was reading articles about that too.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. No.
But cool. Like I said at the beginning, the game feels very similar, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The game's really fun.
It's still worth the pickup, and at this point, you don't have to pay the extra $30 to get early access and a couple of extra packs. You're on the hook for the $69.99 at this point. So, but I would recommend getting it if you like these games. Get this one again. It's especially if you like ranked because the prior season rank pools dry up pretty quickly once the new release is out. So it's going to be longer queues and all of that. So I'd say get it. Pete, any last words?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I made this point last year, but one of my favorite things about the game is that it also just kind of keeps you engaged with the season and the new players and who's breaking out and the rookies coming up. So, definitely can't do anything other than recommend MLB The Show.
All right, let's get off of this podcast so we can go play. All right, everyone, thanks for listening. Catch you next time. Catch us on our Instagram and X accounts at Bros Boss Battles. That's BROS Boss Battles. Our website, brothersandbossbattles.com. You could see us on YouTube at the same handle, as well as Twitch, where Pete might be playing some of these games.
Yes, I gotta dedicate some quiet time so I can jump on Twitch.
All right, everyone, have a good one.